Hello neighbor, how you doing? This is Novels and Bits podcast and I am your host Chizoba Katie. Now this is a third installment of Heat of the Everflame by Penco. So we've been doing this series. We started with Spark of the Everflame, book 1. Book 2 was Glow of the Everflame, and book 3, Heat of the Everflame. And then there's a fourth book, and that one should be coming out this year. So when that one is out, we'll complete the series. But after this particular book, we're gonna just do other stories until it comes out. Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of series, or at least I thought I wasn't. But the moment I started getting into it, especially with these fantasy books, I found out that I could actually keep going. I really enjoy them, but it's just what it is. Now, I had hoped that I'll be able to compress the story into like 6 parts, but this book is really long. In hardcover, it's very thick. Do you understand? Then reading on my phone, as I do usually, it's over 2,000 pages actually. So this episode is not even half of the book yet. It's not half of the book yet at all, but the next episode is like half of it. And you already know that we are doing like 1 hour of a stretch of this podcast episode, just so that we're able to cover more stories. If I just keep it at 30 minutes like I initially planned to do when I started this show, we will not cover as much stories like I want us to, and as you would enjoy or prefer. So please stick with me, and if this is fun, let's want to know about it. Please join our Telegram community. I said that we'll learn how to play games, we'll learn how to choose books together, we'll learn what other activities that will be fun for all of us who like fiction and would want more of it. Maybe recommend K-dramas for those of us interested in it there. Just have a community around it that is just fun and that we feel like we belong. Share Bookstagram posts, book talk posts, and all that we find relatable to our stories. You get I really want us to be that community. And now that I have quite practically just, riffed a bit, let's just jump into the story because we have a long way. You can see how long this episode is. Okay, so now let's dive in. In the last episode, we had that our crew left Ignios and entered into Umbros, and what an adventure it was at Ignios. Towards the end of it, so many fantastical things happened. Diem gained Ignios powers. She was trying not to kill the king and his guards, they were very intent on killing them. They stabbed Diem through the heart eventually, and then Luther's powers unleashed. He killed all the king's guards, almost killed the king. But then Diem made a deal with the king's scribe and Tybalt, take your king and go, so that he doesn't kill your king, unless you would have to kill him, because, Grivens have to defend their masters, whether they like their masters or not. So that's what they went through. Luther attacking Diem with his powers, just so that she could heal from the bleeding in her chest and doesn't die. Alex and Taran returned to help them cross over to Umbros. So now we're in Umbros. Umbros is the realm of mind and secrets. The capital of Umbros is underground. The weary travelers, they take a tunnel to descend into it. It's perpetually evening here, a perfect cover for clandestine activities. They get to a marketplace, and it's shocking to Diem that all eye colors are here. Whatever, Fortro's red, Lumnos blue, Arboros green, Fornos, all eye colors are here. Mottle brown. You get, so this is a melting pot of everybody in a Marriott, Umbros. They're allowed to mix up here, like no man's business. But to be able to use your magic here as a descendant, you pay tithe to the queen. And some of those descended from the other realms also offer additional services, such as the Lumnos descendant provides dim light to show the way. Like I said, this city is on the ground, so it's perpetually evening. You cannot tell whether it's morning or evening. It's perpetually evening, and it doesn't close market at all. So now, what you would have as our version of lights, the electric bulb light, is provided by Lumnos, also combined with the Sophos innovation. Sophos is the realm of technology and advancement sort of thing. So they combine with that Lumnos magic of light and create all these lights that light up the city, and you can walk around and you see your way through. So Diem is wearing a hood, trying to keep her face down because she keeps lifting it up, because everything is intriguing her. Her and Luther head off to find Luther's contacts that can get them passage on a ship to Lumnos. Taran and Alex are to wait by the fighting pits. Now, Luther tells them if they're caught, you know what to do. Luther also confirms from Alex that she hasn't forgotten the Royal Guard oath. The Royal Guard oath apparently is protect the crown at any cost. Diem thinks it should be protect the people. Girl, Have you met yourself? Someone needs to protect you. Anyways, we're not going into that right now. Now, Diem plans to change it to be protect the people. Now, the more they move into the city, Diem notices, why is it so loud? But the whispering and shoutings, coupled with the fact that she's still injured and healing, this is giving her a headache. She might not be actively bleeding, but hey, they all went through an ordeal. Okay? Now, one of the sights that stand out to Diem is noticing a woman pay for 2 child assassins who are masquerading as beggars. And the man is saying that Diem can hear, they'll do to him what I should have when I was their age. I just wish I could see the bastard's face when it happens. Diem hears this woman's voice saying, at least she thinks she hears the woman saying. Now, she also hears Luther say, need to get out of this market. So many here need saving, and her heart's too big to leave them behind. She knows what he's talking about, Diem. Now, to her, aloud, talking to her aloud, Luther now tells Diem, give it time, you will make this world. You'll be the voice they never had, and the sword they were never allowed to wield. So, look, Diem thinks to herself, maybe in Lumnos I could make all those changes and those differences, but outside of Lumnos, what do I know? Okay. Now they come to a place with branching off signs, including one that reads boats. But instead of heading towards those signs, that boat signs, not yet. Luther is like, we need to find my contact. We need someone who doesn't know who you are, that you're a crown, so that we can book our passage in case they're stopped by the centenaries. Now the centenaries are Umbros' 100 descended, who enforce the queen's orders and collect her tithes. Their thought magic can read your mind like a book and bend you to their will. Luther is looking for someone known as the Jaguar. So he's telling Diem, I don't know much about him. We've only communicated through messenger hawks. We kept our identities secret in case either of us was caught. He said if I ever needed to find him in Umbros, his symbols would guide me there. So they're following Jaguar symbols. The ladies who did the deep dive cover of this, they pronounce Jaguar, Jaguar. So I had to check the pronunciation. Jaguar cuts it. Jaguar also does. However, I'm going to be saying Jaguar because that's what I'm used to. Diem's like, so how do you know this guy again? This contact you're taking us to meet? Luther explains, actually, your mother introduced us. Now, they get to a quaint inn called the Second Chance. Children are attending to the travelers. Children, actual children. The woman at the desk is a Lumnos descendant, and at once, Diem feels protective of her. The woman claims no one here is called Jaguar. Eventually, a man comes out from the back. He's slender, he's muscular, dark skin, beautiful and powerful aura. He even sizes Luther up. But it's actually Diem's power he's feeling and doesn't know. Now the woman calls him Zal and leads the duo that leads Diem and Luther to a room that Zal asked they be put in. The woman brings them to this room. This room is nondescript. It's built into the wall. And if you're not looking for it, you will not know it's there. The interior, when Diem picks in, is so that 2 little children run past Diem, and with flowers made from light and shadow magic, they light up the space. A living room with bookshelves stocked full, and then 2 rooms branching off. Luther kneels before the children and pays them gold to make more flowers for him. They combine powers to create flowers of light and shadow. Apparently, there is a boy and a girl child. The girl child has both light and shadow magic. And even as young as she is, Diem already senses, her magic is powerful. The male child is not as powerful. He only has light magic. So she combines her shadow with his light. So they kind of combine their magic together to create these stunning flowers made from magic. Now, Luther whispers the flowers are for the Queen of Lumnos. He tells them the Queen would welcome them back with open arms. So the woman that led them to this room discourages him from giving them this hope, as the only thing waiting back at Lumnos is execution. It dawns on Diem that this inn is actually haven to the half-mortal children Luther has saved through the years. So the depth of her love for Luther in this moment overwhelms her. With him, she actually doesn't fear commitment. Now the two are left to themselves. There's an overwhelming desire to get intimate, but Luther backs away. So he and Diem argue concerning should we include the others in our pact for brutal honesty. She's for it, believing they'll be hurt if they find out later things were kept from them. Luther eventually caves in, and with it comes a wariness she's never seen on him before. He wants to leave the room, but finds out they've been shielded in by an invisible shield, like magic shield. Diem tries to destroy it, but it hurts her. Luther now encourages her to absorb it. So Diem now tries something. Like, her magic is new, so she experiments. She acts on gut instinct. Mostly goes by, what if I could? And she tries it. Now she feels her magic reach and lap up the magical shield, like a hungry dog. With that comes more mending of her skin. And the voices in her head get more clearer. Out of all the voices echoing in Diem's head, Luther's voice is one of them, telling her, hey, come back. Hey, are you okay? So she focuses on Luther's voice. This right here makes her scared because her intuition is telling her to follow the source of the magic and lick up all the magic. And she's like, yo, does that mean I can just steal someone's magic completely? Now, when she opens her eyes, her skin is emitting silver moonlight. She returns to normal soon, but the door is still locked. So she's not like, why did they lock them in here? Are they planning to turn us over to the Umbros Queen? Now, Diem learns the Jaguar has actually been helping Luther out for a hefty fee, not for free, like she initially thought. While Luther absolutely abhors the idea of being turned over to the Queen, Diem kind of wants it. Because the Queen knows something about Diem, with calling her daughter of the forgotten, and not being surprised with what happened at Korea. Luther doesn't want them to meet the Queen though, it's too dangerous. She's wanted by the crowns. Diem doesn't think a few days extra would hurt, but to Luther it makes a world of difference. And he now starts goading her, and oh my god, we all agreed that what he did here is not cool. Because y'all, he starts asking her, don't you care about the mortals back home, or the half mortals, or your brother? Ouch! Another thing is, Luther looks so tired. He now starts, we don't have enough time. He's about to come clean about something when the door pushes open and Zal comes in with draped clothing made from shadow magic. He now asks angrily, what did you just do? Because that was his magic that Diem licked up, a part of his magic. And Luther right now is back in prince mode. Zal, this is a person they met earlier. The muscular, lean, fine man. He's a jaguar. But with Luther's complete lack of discretion, Zal had to make sure nobody saw him coming to them. This man wears a gold collar around his neck. He pulls off to show a cruel scar encircling his throat. So they were younger when Luther saved him. He now introduces himself officially to them. Zalaric Hanover. Pleasure to meet you again. He's not afraid to use the last name of his sire. He's got a score to settle with the Hanover house. Now, Diem is shooed away by Luther as far that's my cousin and she doesn't need to be in this conversation. They don't want Diem to be known as the crown. So Diem settles on peeking through the door of the room that she's supposed to be staying in. There are 2 rooms in that place. It's like a suite. The reason Zal locked them in is so they don't go all over Umbros inviting trouble, both to himself and to themselves, by screaming for the Jaguar. Also having felt, in quote, Luther's aura, Zalaric was confident he could break out if he wanted. He asked Luther to teach him how he drained his magic out of him. So Luther goes along with it, saying he won't teach Zalaric for any cost because he has his own money. So now Zalaric is bitter because he is a person who had grown up scrabbling for every last coin, and he's now faced with the casual indifference of someone who couldn't fathom having a last coin at all. Now Luther asks for passage for sensitive cargo. Zalaric asks, does it have anything to do with the mysterious new queen of Lumnos? There's so many rumors about her. She's immortal. She's a long-lost royal. She has no magic. She's more powerful than a god. She's in hiding. She's starting a war. So many rumors about Diem going around. Obviously, Zalaric doesn't know the queen's name. But all Luther does is invite Zal and all under him back to Lumnos and tells him, see, if it's in business, you can continue there. The queen will welcome you. As for how devoted Luther is to this queen, Luther now says, I gave myself to her the moment I met her, and I have not regretted it for a second. I have laid my life at her feet, and I will do it again and again, 1,000 times over. She has my faith, my loyalty, my vow. I believe in her with everything that I am. There is nothing I would not do to see her fulfill her destiny, no matter the cost. Oof! Diem burns! A good kind of burning, No, he did not just say that about me. Luther asks that Zal stands by the queen should she ever need allies. Zal will think about it, okay? Because he is not used to pledging loyalty blindly. He only does what can save his skin. He grew up surviving anyway. Now, Diem falls asleep there on the ground where she's eavesdropping. When she awakes, she's in bed and tucked in. There's a note from Luther that he's gone out to meet with Alex and Taran. He begs her to please stay put. Please is on the line twice. He knows his babe. Now, Diem takes advantage of this time to take a bath with the warm water that's already been drawn. She's not had a proper bath in weeks. Oh my god, so stanky. Now, by the time she's done and wraps in it all, she runs into Luther's chest. He's back. Her chest wound is pink with new skin and her other wounds are healed. She tries to check for his, but he's covered neck to toe, no skin in sight. He's even wearing a neck scarf. Luther seems distant, and for a moment his mind appears to her as a cloud of smoke that she can just reach into and see what's bothering him. But as quickly as the thought comes, she dismisses it. First, she's not capable of doing that. And even if she were, it would be betrayal, right? Anyway, they're alone, and there's not exactly an urgency. besides the others waiting in the parlor. So with that, Diem initiates adult stuff. But here's the thing. She's the only one who gets touched. When she tries to remove the scarf or lift his sweater, he pulls back. Eventually, his magic comes back and he makes the room go black. Okay, she's like, okay, I see what he's saying. That if we're going to do anything, he wants it to be blackness. Maybe he's uncomfortable with showing his scars. But when she's reaching for his stomach, he rests in it. He pulls away, covers himself up, and lets the lights back into the room. He's so stoic. What is wrong with you, Luther? It's like she's forcing him into this. And she's like, please, I'm sorry. Am I forcing into this? Is it because I'm the queen you feel like? Oh my God. But he says such strong words to dissuade her from that line of thought. Some of what he says is, I require you. I am sustained by you. You are the flame that fuels my fire. Don't you dare question that, not for a second. And yet he walks out on her, even though she pulls a queen card, like, don't walk out on me. Okay? Something's not right here. And honestly, with me saying that queen card, this song by Idol, this Korean girl group comes to my mind. I'm not queen card. I'm not queen card. Yeah, well. So Diem puts on clothes Luther laid out for her and joins the others. She's been so dishonest and keeping secrets, whereas they've been there for her through the worst weeks of her life. So because of that, she's like, yo, I have something to tell you. And then she word vomits. She tells them everything, from her mother being the leader of the Guardians, to her plans to break her out of photos, that's her mother, to learning her birth father is alive and knows of her, then the centenaries at the Essential Ball that turned away the army of the Guardians. The hardest part, she's still working with a faction of Guardians that are good and wants to work with good Ascended too and make half-breeds acceptable, but she doesn't know how it's all gonna work out. Yeah. Lord! Oh, and Luther and I have been having visions about each other and the war and some glowing man who called me daughter of the forgotten. Also, there's a prophecy, I think. The Umbros queen told me some of it, and then King Uther said more, and I'm not sure. I'm still figuring this part out too. Then everything went sideways at my coronation, and Sophos called me an imposter, which actually they might not be wrong about, because there's something bizarre about my magic. Oh, everybody has questions. As she recalls the prophecy, she has an oh moment. They didn't lie, because some things about the prophecy are already happening. Her blood did split the heartstone. She finally tells her friends about it. Some things aren't clear, which is why she hopes to see the Queen of Umbros. Luther now says you can send her a letter from Lumnos. And then the part Uther said, devourer of crowns, ravager of realms, herald of vengeance. Then he said, they told me your blood would shatter our... She pauses there. Our stone and lay waste to our borders. That part is coming true too. It's not just her friend's magic that are returning, but magic of random descended who are not in their realm. You know, like people in Umbros that have not even paid tithe to the queen. They're being able to use their magic. So Diem mentions a part where Uther's voice changed to ancient and feminine. That was Lumnos speaking through Uther. Apparently, Lumnos was telling Diem,
give him our gift, daughter of the forgotten. When the end has come and the blood has spilled, give our gift to my faithful heir and tell him this is my command.
Luther confirms that, that's definitely Lumnos, and that creeps Diem out, because she's not exactly a huge fan of the kindred and all, yeah? So Diem thinks the gift that she's been asked to give to the heir is a crown, and to give the crown away, she has to die first, which she's not eager to die just yet. So yeah, well, that heir better wait his turn. That's what she says. Now, because of all this assumption, Diem pushes again to see the Umbros quit, but that makes Luther leave it. Alex has to remind him she's queen, and to this, Luther snaps at her. You abandoned the queen in Ignios. Diem tries to make light of what happened in Ignios, knowing fully well she and Luther would be corpses had his magic not returned. But so would have been the others if she didn't ask them to leave. So she feels like she took the best decision, saying Alex and Taran go away. You know? But thank God Luther's magic came back, or they would not be alive right now. Luther is now asking Diem, why do you refuse to accept that our job is to protect you? She now tells him, because your job isn't to protect me, it's to serve me. Are you still willing to do that, or have I lost your faith already? He now tells her, you know I have faith in you. You are above all else. You are everything. So Diem learns the High General of the Royal Guard is entitled to overrule the crown if necessary to save their life. With that, she declares Luther can be her High General. It's something she's been thinking on for a while, and Alex is actually her choice for the position of High General. Diem needs a High General who can accept her choices to put herself at risk. I trust you with my life, Luther, but I can't trust you with my orders. She still wants him beside her in other capacities, but he says he must learn how to rule alone. High General or not, he shouts to making them return to Lumnos straight away. He makes them promise she's not going to play any tricks. Diem checks in on Taran's wounds and the poultice previously applied. She's been changing the poultice. The first poultice she applied was like Miracle Worker E, but the other poultices she's been applying, it's just white, indicating it's not drawing out anything. Her supply of herbs is also lower than expected, but hey, at least Taran's wounds are continuing to heal beautifully. Zalari comes into the room. That's Secret Suits. That's where all four of them are. And when he comes in, Taran is still shirtless. Not having met him, Taran lunges on offensive. But Zal, with a flick of his magic, easily dissipates Taran's magic, disarms him of weapons, and puts up a shield. It's so impressive. Zal points out that he's never seen anyone survive Godstone wound. Instead, they face brutal, terribly painful deaths. Taran is very lucky. Something about Zal's bold, embodied, self-made aura makes Taran speechless. Now, Zal came to inform them that his contacts can't give them passage until tomorrow night, not tonight. Diem thinks it's a chance to eat good food, sleep on a warm bed before heading out to the rough seas. Zal now offers to be their tour guide should they choose to explore Umbros. Diem should decline because they're meant to be hiding, not going out in the open like that. But her gut instinct urges Diem to accept it. That is Zal's offer to show them around. You get. Also, everything Zal is doing for them has a price. It's not like he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart. Now, while the other two will be joining Diem, that's Alex and Tara, Luther won't. So he now tells her it's time to get used to having them at your side, not me. Okay. That's so mean. Luther, what's going on with you? He goes out after that. Now, Diem is roused from sleep in the armchair where she fell asleep waiting for Luther. According to him, he went to pray at Lumnos' temple for peace. He apologizes for earlier, sort of, and then he carries her to bed, sits beside her, and he reminds her of that morning after the armory fire when she woke up in his room. He tries to leave, and she begs him to stay, promising she's not going to touch him. And when she says that, with how vulnerable she sounds, he flinches. And now, this couple honestly needs therapy. They're not saying a lot to each other, and it's driving a wedge that is not supposed to exist. So he does lie beside her, although there is space between them. However, when Diem wakes up in the morning, she's in Luther's arms. She's noticing that he's feverish, he's sweating, but she doesn't want to break his trust by removing the many clothes he has on to reveal whatever is underneath. Later, she heads to the market with Zal and her two friends. Luther is not part of them. So Zal put an illusion of magic over them that makes Diem appears as a much older, refined woman with a voluptuous figure and a stick-straight emerald bulb. Alex appears as a large, burly man, shirtless and coated head to toe in intricate tattoos. But Taran, Zal makes Taran appear as an adorable child of about 8 with golden ringlets and a petal pink dress carrying a basket of daisies. To themselves, they look normal. Like when the two of them are looking at each other, Alex, Diem, and Taran, they look normal when they're looking at each other. But in the eyes of everybody else looking at them, that is how they look like. In the eyes of the mirror, that's how they look like. So how is Zal able to create such powerful light magic illusion, making them appear as someone else? He explains that he uses shields that are bendable. It's intricate and creative. Now, Zal did not go to an academy, unlike these Cobra cousins, right? He taught himself. All these things are self-taught. And his magic is very strong. In Taran's indignation over how he looks and the fact that Zalari could call him T anything other than Taran now says, "You're supposed to be on my side, Queenie. This is how you pay me for rescuing from the gut." Alex has to elbow him. Like, "Uncle, is your mind still there?" But if Zal had anything, he doesn't act like he did. Diem is drawn to a very expensive jewelry she could afford, being that she's a crown, but she doesn't want to because she needs money for other things in her head, like a war, Now, Ray's motto, she's not used to impractical things. Somehow, though, Diem winds up working with Zal and pushes to know his story. He was born in paradise for Lumnos. She is well acquainted with that, although he doesn't know. He was hidden by his mother until he was 7, and one day his mother didn't come back. So he stayed hidden until he got so hungry he crept out to beg. But seeing his blue eyes, he was turned over to the guards so that the bounty on heads of heart mortals could be collected. Diem and the villagers believes bounties to be awful, turning neighbors against one another. But Zalaric reveals that it was actually Luther's idea to have bounties. Why? To stop people executing half mortals on sight. So by delivering those children to him for a generous price, Luther could save those half-mortal children. However, young Zal did not know that, the intention of Luther was to save him. So he tried getting away from the guards, and then one of those guards slashed his throat. But Luther managed to stop the bleeding, delivered Zal to Umbros, to a woman called Miss Maggie or Miss Maggie. Now, Maggie was fiery and raised many of these half-mortal children as hers. She made money from the skin market, but being that she's a mortal woman, she aged and money depleted. Skin market is a fancy word for selling your body for a price. You sleep with people, you get. Now, the writer of this book sees that as a business that some people willingly engage in, but I don't feel like anybody that has a very deliberate choice might choose to do this as a business. I mean, coming from my own Christian perspective, but that's not something we're discussing today. That's for you to form your own opinions. Regardless, now, anything skin markets, whether you're selling products or you're being a model, even if you're not actively sleeping with people for money, that means you have to look a certain way. But this woman is mortal. She aged, and with aging, her value dropped. You understand? So that's how her and the children were going hungry. And she even got sick. And that was a curable sickness, but not having money made her die from it. And Zal, because of it, he vowed never to be poor again. So he started with pickpocketing. Then he moved to the fighting rings. So the fighting rings, yes, he could not afford to pay the queen's tithe. But at least if you are going to be fighting in the fighting rings, they release your magic just for the purpose of you fighting for entertainment. Because of that, he had a chance to learn how to use his magic. That afforded him that chance to use his magic. He discovered he was stronger than most. So he won a lot in the fighting rings. He also did his time in the skin markets, being that he's quite good looking. He won the attention of some powerful people that started hiring him to handle discreet tasks. He still does those tasks to date. As for the inn, is where he established so that the half-mortals get to earn a wage and have a home. He doesn't want to force them into choices he or Maggie were. Do you get? Now, Diem relates to some of his struggles, and he's not surprised. When she relates, he's like, yeah, I figured out that you're half-mortal because you have the look. She's like, what look? He's like, the look of someone trying to find a place in the world where they belong. Diem doesn't confirm or deny it. As for why Zal didn't remove his scars, he's like, it's remember the prince who saved my life. You get? Luther also has scars. So it's more like a tribute to Luther that he kept his scars. And also, scars are kind of sexy. He actually said that. Now they catch up to Alex and Taran. Taran is throwing a fit because his parents cannot let him buy weapons. Again, remember he looks like an 8-year-old girl in pink. She's blonde, holding flowers. So how would that young sweet girl, try to buy weapons that look so like, can you even touch it? No, baby. So Alex now goes, I hope Taran remembers he can actually kill Zalaric or will never get home. And Diem thinks, I'd like to see him try. But then somehow Alex had her thoughts. Because Alex now replies as though Diem spoke aloud. And Diem is like, okay. Now, Alex and Diem talk further. It reveals to Diem that Luther really is most open to her. Diem thinks, oh my God, Luther is giving things from me. Through Alex, she learns that Luther is most open to me. Now, Alex doesn't know how he knows Zal, for instance, but Diem knows. Or how he got his scars, but Diem knows. Or that Luther used to help the Guardians, or that he even has shared visions with Diem. All these things are things that Diem knows that Alex just found out about. Diem is trying to ask, but have you noticed something is wrong with Luther? Alex is like, I've not noticed. So it's only Diem that is in a position to actually notice that Luther doesn't seem right. Now, Zal takes them to the food market, and noises in Diem's head is so loud. Man, her head is aching. The others are chill though, like, no, it's not any noisier than it would be at a ball or, And she's like, I was at my ball and my ball wasn't this noisy. That's what Diem is thinking. You get? Now, a flash of white attracts Diem's attention to a mortal who is selling what he claims are dragon fires. All the Grivens breed fire. That fire they breathe out is called dragon fire. In as much as it's not called Griven fire, it's called dragon fire. Now there's a tiny one of lavender. It's purple in the middle. It's smaller than the rest, just about an inch, very tiny. When Diem now asks the man how he got these dragon fires, the man's tone is threatening. When he replies, you should know better than to ask about the provenance of items sold in the dark markets. That kind of mistake can get you killed. Diem's godhood flares like, who are you to threaten me? So her godhood, not her exactly, flares up at the man's threatening voice. And Zal, sensing her aura, steps back from her a step. Like, yo, this powerful person looks like she wants to fight. I don't want to be caught in the fire. So his own godhood instinctively makes him step back from her. Now for the lavender fire, the man is selling last at 1,000 golden marks. It's an outrageous amount. But hey, Alex has a purse. How Luther or Tara or each have a purse that each contains 10,000 golden marks. And they've not spent it yet. So Alex gives her own purse to Diem. So Diem takes out 1,000 golden marks and some extra, preferring that, let me pay the man extra. That rather a mortal has this money rather than the house of Kobwa. And that amazes Zal. Zalaric looks at her like, yo, I've not heard anybody reason like this. Now, the lavender flame actually belonged to the late Montheus Griven Ramari. So they now explain to Diem she was the oldest of the Grivens, even though Montheus was the youngest of the kindred. She was the most beautiful too, pure white from tongue to tail, with scales like opals. They say it never stopped snowing in the place where she died. Please keep this in mind. We'll see more of this. Raimari, the Montheus Griven, she died during the Blood War. And the only thing left of her is this lavender flame. This flame is centuries old. The voice inside Diem that normally urges her to use her magic now urges her to say rise, to command rise. And when she says rise, the small flame becomes 6 times large. Like doubles, another doubles, another doubles. The seller tries to touch the jar holding the flame and it burns him. But when Diem does, it's cool to her touch and it also sends a warmth through her. Now when the man tries to package what she bought and grabs her wrist, every single jar of flame there freezes. Then starts burning so bright. She has to make it stop or else it will attract the attention of the centenaries. Mind you, this whole city is underground and in perpetual evening. So any light that is lit up that much would definitely bring attention. Now, Diem recognizes the flames are trying to protect her. Somehow she just instinctively knows. So she now pleads under her breath, stop, calm down, I'm safe. Zal now pushes her in front of him and uses shadows to conceal their back as they leave. The moment she says that, they know the fire is actually cool. Diem wants to return to the inn because what was that I just faced? Alex and Co, they insist on walking her back there. She's still the queen. Do you understand? So when she gets back, Luther is asleep on an armchair, still fully clothed, and he looks paler. He bought fresh gauge and large bundle of herbs, the kind she collected in her burrows. She has a sense of foreboding where it concerns Luther, but she just wants to respect him, like let him tell her whatever he's doing himself. So as she lays his head in her lap, she caresses him until he awakes. He doesn't seem surprised when she says she bought the dragon fire out of God's instinct, the lavender flame. He doesn't seem surprised. He now asks her, have you ever been to Montheus? She's like, not exactly. That I climbed over the border with Henry once to defy the abandoned mortals. We just crossed the borders. We stood there for a few minutes and climbed back. Now, Diem has been to every realm right now except Sulphur's. Luther urges her to make sure she visits there, even if she has to sneak in like she did for Montheus. So when she asks what's the reason, and he just tells her he has a hunch. Next, he shows her a newspaper. She's never actually seen a newspaper before, and she takes her time admiring it, including the pictures that seem lifelike and vivid. It's a combination of Lumnos magic and Sophos innovations, just like the light of the city. She's surprised that, where in other realms the crowns are acting like nothing is amiss. Here in Umbros, the newspaper reports that is news of Diem's coronation gone wrong and the rebels taking Korea. Luther draws her attention to what's going on in the north that is there in the newspaper. Now, the Emarian army sent 80,000 descended and every last one of them vanished. It's not the Guardians that are that strong, but the man who's helping the Guardians. Oh my God, that's the man from Diem and Luther's shared visions. He has striking features. He's mostly colorless and pale, silvery, glittering skin, a brilliant glow radiating around him, illuminating a horde of armed mortals at his back. That's the picture there in the newspaper. Diem feels a shiver, as though this man is waiting for her, and it doesn't feel like a good thing. Now they're leaving for the secret passageway out of Umbros, where Zal's contact is waiting. This is already the night where they're trying to go to his ship to head back to Lumnos. In Emarion, there are 3 major ports: the Umbros port, Merus port, and the Phothos port. Phothos port is mostly for the army, and then the Merus port is where mostly good things happen. It always has a shining sun, thanks to its ascended ability to manipulate the weather through their wind and water magic. In Umbros, though, Umbros is the port for everything dark market illegal. Now, there are centenaries at every canal opening up to the sacred sea. Now, these centenaries can scan the minds of everyone on board to ensure all tariffs have been paid. Many have tried to outwit them, but no one's ever succeeded. The plan right now is to avoid the centenaries entirely. In a way, Diem is looking forward to be back in Lumnos and make things right. Luther now asks her, do you have any hunches? She's like, no. She tells him that they'll be home soon to work together on saving the realm. And when she says, we'll be working together, he turns stony. He now tells her, you will save our people. You don't need me or anyone else. She's like, of course I need you. I can do this without every one of my advisors, but you most of all. He now tells her, this is war, Diem. People are going to die. People you care about, and when they do, you must keep going. You cannot lose yourself to grief. Like, she's officially pissed. He thinks that she's gonna let grief rule over her. She won't do what's necessary. Because he's going by the time when she lost her dad and she was so devastated. She stalks away from him. Now they get to a place where Zal informs them that, see, once we pass this place, there's no turning back. He looks sad and resigned. So the voice inside Diem urges her to look. Before he told her to command rise, now he's telling her, look. Zal's mind is a thin wall of mist, just like Luther's looked earlier. But in this case now, Diem follows that instinct to dive in, and she sees his memories, and then the secret buried under sorrow and regret. The lady who will be ferrying them is a cardinal. She's a Fortune's descendant who doesn't want to know their names or their motives, nothing. Now, at the moment, Zal is going to leave, right? And he now thanks Luther for saving him and the others, that he saved over the years. Zal now tells Luther that he owes him. It's me, Zal, I owe you, Luther. Now, the only repayment Luther is seeking that if Her Majesty ever needs you, answer that call. She's worth fighting for. So when Diem leans in to kiss Zal goodbye on the cheek, she now asks him, if the others leave without me, will they be safe? Because she saw his secret inside his head, right? But it's already late. The centenaries are here. Simon, that is the Queen's chief centenary, is here with 15 others. Why so much? They're not underestimating Diem at all. Their queen wants a word with Diem and wants her friends to come along. With mind magic, they're already making her friends hold their knives to their own throats. When Simon calls Diem Bellator, says Diem Bellator, Zal finds out for the first time that Diem is Orali's daughter, increasing his guilt, because Orali was there for him a lot. Now they get into Diem's head. They see everything. And it's only until Simon starts pushing lurid images in her mind like he did at her coronation that she forces him out of her mind. Glowing silver lights. Now they collect their knives while groping them. And when Luther snarls at this, like when Simon is groping Diem, in pretense of, batting her down for weapons, just like those guards in Spark now, Simon now goes curious that a man who rejects her touch thinks he gets to saying what other men do with her. They know none of their friends know about Luther and Diem's private issues. And that's actually quite mature that none of their friends know. Diem now snaps. You can stop airing out private matters now. Now, the cardinal isn't Diem's friend, technically, because he's only sparing Diem's friend, that's Simon. So with that, Simon makes her plunge her dagger into her throat. She's dying. And Diem now dares impossible. She heals her using Fortos healing magic. It's Fortos people that have the magic of either healing or destruction. So that's what she does here. She's like, maybe let me try this theory in my head that I can actually use magic of this other realm. While making Alex cover up with a cloak and makes the woman hush so that the centuries don't know. As if. As for Zal, Simon now tells Zal, Simon now, the chief centenary, Her Majesty may be letting you leave for turning them in, but don't think I haven't forgotten your original plan. I'll ensure you pay for it eventually. Luther is angry that Diem knew that Zal would turn them in and said nothing. Taran is hot at Zal's betrayal. And then centenaries are just hurting everybody. Everybody's shouting, upset, they're kicking. It's pure chaos. So Diem, getting up from just hitting the woman and asking her to hush, now announces, the woman is dead. I'll go with you. So she now starts flirting with Simon, because that's what she feels in this situation is necessary. And remember, right now, they can't really get into her head because she pushes him out and puts that silver shield in place now. So Simon doesn't really know her plan for flirting with him. Even if he knows, he desires her, so he will just go along with it. Now, others look betrayed, confused, and disgusted. Only Zal is neutral because Zal knows this zone, understands that Diem is playing a game, but I think for the others, it's not dawning on them yet. So that's why they have this betrayed, confused, disgusted looks at what she's doing. So now we get to the palace. Because they are foreigners, that is Diem and her friends, they're not allowed to use the pulley drawn lifts. It serves like an elevator because it's a long walk from down to up to the palace. So they have to take the stairs, their heads spin, their calves burn. Unlike the rest of the city that casts in shadows, sunlight actually flows into the palace. It's evening, and as they get to the throne room has 10 open archways, large enough for a Gryven to come into. Diem now tells Simon that invading the mind is something that permission must be sought first. So this Simon now says, so that woman in the cave, that you healed, did she give you permission to heal her? She's like, how did you know? She thought she was so secretive. Mind magic, they know everything. Diem is scared Simon will kill her, but Simon is like, I've already exacted my punishment, so I can't be bothered. I beg. Simon goads Luther a lot, calling Diem beautiful while angry. I'm sure you enjoy that. And assuring Luther, don't worry, I'll take good care of her when you're not around. Emphasis on when you are not around. Hey God. So, Minions. Also, one word to describe the palace: sin. Everywhere they pass, those either somebody smoking something or fornicating like that, or that's the word to describe the palace: sin. All pleasures, anything you want, pills, drugs, anything. This is the place for it, in abundance. When the Centenaries leave them alone in the room, Taran attacks Zal, who doesn't fight back with his magic. Taran also turns on Diem, accusing her of lack of loyalty to Luther. Zal is surprised that Taran doesn't see her game. Taran now punches at Zal, who dodges, and Taran now cracks his knuckles against one of the pillars there. And it doesn't stop Taran from rolling with Zal on the ground. Luther is leaning against something, as though he cannot stand on himself so long. And then he's so angry. He now tells Diem, you promise not to play any tricks. Before she can clear the air that, oh, no, this is what happened. Before she can explain that, it's actually magic that helped her see. Because right now, he's assuming she worked with Zal to sell them out to the Umbros queen. She pushed in having her own way to meet the queen, even though he said let them return. And she's still trying to clear the air. But then, Griven incoming. Immediately, he's back to being stoic. He stands straight. His cousins flank Zal and Diem. Diem has to point out, do you know it's supposed to be the other way around? Considering that it's actually Zal and me that has magic and the three of you don't. They ignore Diem. Now, Zal now wants. She's ruthless about protecting her reputation. Don't insult or threaten her, Diem. Be quiet and polite. The Umbros queen lands. Diem feels her aura. Wow. But it's as though the woman intentionally magnifies it, just so that she can prove a point. Diem pulls that power into her lungs, somehow breathes the power in. Now the woman's high heels climb out on the back of a centenary who's down on all fours so that the woman can use him as a platform to come down. Another centenary helps the queen down. This woman can be described as sex on legs, flawless skin, ebony hair, tiny dress. Everyone bows except Diem and the Cobra cousins. According to the Cobra cousins, their loyalty is to their crown only. Zalaric bows to. The queen finds it funny. But anyhow, using her mind magic, she makes them bow to their knees and foreheads. It's just her and Diem now standing facing each other. The woman now greets her, hello, daughter of the forgotten. So Diem greets her back, hello, Umbros. So she waves at her side and says, you're not uncorrect, dear. You can call me yourself. But anyone else who does that, I'll be cut out your tongue and feed it to my Gripen. Now, they hold on everyone, keeping them on their knee snaps. So apparently this woman has been unnecessarily using her powers to keep everyone, including her centenaries, bowing. The moment she sits on her throne, it's a flurry of activities. Her centenaries go above and beyond to meet all her needs. All. Not just serving her food and this, but touching her, gripping her everywhere. Now from your cell, Diem learns her mother is still alive. She's a prisoner of the crown, and there needs to be 6 votes before she can be executed. Ysel voted against it. Aborus and Monthius haven't replied, and so too has Remy's the regent. Diem is surprised Ysel won't turn her over to the crowns. So Ysel now says that edict isn't what the paper is written on. A crown holds no authority over other crowns. I don't answer to them, and neither do you. Until you return home, you and your people will have my full protection. Diem asks what Ysel stands to gain from all this generosity. Ysel now tells her, you'll see. Diem cannot decline Ysel's offer that she stays a few days as an honored guest. And as much as they're like, oh yeah, stay as my guest, it's still at the same time an offer you cannot reject. You cannot say, oh, I need to go home quickly. No. 3 days at most, or else Ysel will change her mind and send her vote for Oradi's execution. Stay they must. Stay they must. Diem and her companions are upgraded from captives to guests. Weapons and bags are returned. They are assigned a private wing of the palace. No centenaries are allowed in their mines. Just Ysel. Their rooms have no access to the skies where Diem can call for Sarai. It feels very deliberate. She requests a private dinner with just her companions, and that's granted. Everyone attends, including Zalaric. He's even uncertain if he's invited. But Diem pulls him in. But Luther doesn't come. He actually sends for a true Terran that he won't make it, that he's sleeping early. From Zalaric, the land Ysel is unpredictable. She has decimated whole families for a small indiscretion and spared serious crimes because she's having a good hair day. As for how Zal came to sell them out, he explains his centenary approached him after he gave them a toll And he now explains that I pay a lot of money to avoid the attention, so I knew something wasn't right. I suspected the queen already knew you were in Umbros, and she was testing me to see where my loyalties lay. If Zal had not cooperated, he would have been dead, like his friend the Cardinal. Diem Shah informs him that the Cardinal is not dead, and that spares Zal that guilt, because he's been feeling so bad about putting her in that position and being the cause of her death. As for what Isel might want from Diem, so Zal says an alliance. She's not trusted by other crowns, and you're very powerful, Diem. He explains why he knows Diem is very powerful. You mostly feel auras of powerful people when they step into the room, but I felt yours when you enter the city. And the funny thing is, Diem's powers are currently dulled by flame red powder. It hasn't all worn out. Thank God Diem doesn't give in to her normal delulu in this saying, oh no, you must be mistaken. But rather, she recognizes that she ignores things that she doesn't find comfortable, and what they're saying might have some truth. After dinner, Alex trains Diem on magic usage. Zal stays behind to his support, showing more innovative magic that Alex can't even replicate. Taran, on the other hand, keeps stealing drinks when he thinks Alex isn't looking. After Alex goes to bed, Zal stays a bit longer, and when he wants to go, he offers to take Taran back to his room. Diem says it's okay to leave him sleeping in her room, since he's too drunk. Instead, Diem props his head up, that is Taran's head up, with a pillow and covers him with blankets. Now, before Zal leaves, he tells her that Orali was the only one there for him after Miss Maggie passed. But Orali did not bring her healing skills early enough, She didn't know now. Diem understands that Zal didn't want to betray her, but was in a hard place. She forgives him, and she pulls him in for a hug. Now, when they pull apart, he has actual tears in his eyes. He is so won over to be her ally. The interactions are gold. Please remember, I'm summarizing this, but it's so emotional, the kind of compassion that Diem throws out to people. And for people like Zal, they latch onto it, they recognize this as genuine. And some other people are more difficult, amen, people. So regardless. Now, left alone, by herself, she still has a sleeping Taran there. Diem loads a plate with food and takes it with wine to Luther's door. But his door is locked. She senses his aura within, because another thing that the queen did was unlock the magic of all her friends. You get. So she is sensing Luther's aura that he's inside. But something about it is off-tune. She sends a plea that he shouldn't give up on her, whatever it is, because she still thinks he's mad about, the Umbros, they're settling in for a while, Now, in the morning, Diem wakes Taran, who's dreaming about Zal of all people, like, oh no, stop tickling me. The same Zal that when he's awake, he's like, what do you mean? I'm mad at Zal, Apparently, they had a moment after he showed Alex the weapons maker, and it was just them two. Like, Zal took Alex to see the weapons maker because Alex is working on a project back at Lumnos. You get. So while there, he and Taran took off. But Taran's mad that for someone I connected to, how would he sell me out that way? Diem connects this event to Amon's trauma. That yes, Taran, so you have a trauma, you get. And while Taran made a better decision than Amon in some ways, Taran's trauma made him something of an alcoholic. Because the truth is, Taran might be all cheerful and playful, but Taran's heart is so deep that Taran feels worthless. That's why Diem's acceptance means so much to him. And even at that, he still expects for the other shoe to drop, as per for Diem to look at him one day and see nothing than somebody who botches things up, someone who's not good enough, someone who is not worthy. Do you understand? Like, Taran is someone that he lives with insecurities. He might be all playful and this, but being in his head is dark. Do you get? So and Diem has never actually judged him. She just loved him, and that's meant so much to Taran. Even though low-key, he's like, maybe she'll look at me like that one day. And in the case of Amon, really, Amon was the big brother who already had his magic and descended healing. But Amon would never defend Taran from the abusive father, saying that we have to be tough and take it. So Diem explains that, see, Amon was a victim too, and wounds take many forms. That I've treated people, and I've seen choices abused people make that's made me so mad. So when Diem sees Luther later that morning, he's in a terrible state. He's leaning against her door frame, dark circles underneath his sallow skin, matted hair. When Taran leaves, Diem asks, are you sick? According to him, he hasn't been sleeping well. In her head, she's like, all you have done the past 3 days was sleep. He's asking for her forgiveness. And she's like, okay, forgiveness for what? He's about to open up about what's going on with him when Simon struts in and now tells Diem that the queen is requesting an early lunch. Just her. When Luther is warning Simon against touching Diem against her will, some of his words are, touch her and I'll take you down with me. Okay. Take you down with me? The first stop with Simon is Iselle's wardrobe. Diem is still in her bloodied mortal clothing, and that's a no-no if you're going to be meeting with the queen. In as much as the wardrobe can clothe an entire kingdom, Diem is like, I don't know if it's okay to pick something from her wardrobe. So she goes for the simplest thing she can say there so that she doesn't annoy the queen. And then through Simon, Diem learns that all centenaries can read each other's minds, although the strongest can shield, but generally they have no secrets from each other. And Diem thinks that must be a nice way to live, not having any secrets. The queen's mental shield is the strongest, and none of the centenaries ever try to breach it. As for why the queen wants her, Simon sincerely doesn't know, but he knows she doesn't want any more war since she survived the blood war. So the queen might be wanting to talk to her to avoid a war or something. Now, once alone with Iselle is like, Diem, pull out your crown. Let me see it. It's been in her chest since they escaped from Umbros. Now, Iselle wants to send over more clothes to her and says you should dress the part of queen. So Iselle is naturally mad. She's like, yeah, take any clothes. I'll send more clothes to you. Now, her friends have been sent to the bathhouse to be cleaned up. And the queen doesn't sound so forgiving of Zalaric after all. That he was about to do something under my nose. So Diem is like, alarm, I cannot leave Zalaric behind. What would this woman do to him in my absence? Do you understand? So also, it's not just to get in Diem's good graces that Iselle didn't send her votes. So Iselle tells Diem that Orali has a part to play in what's coming. Orali thinks she's so sneaky about her plans and whatnot. But Iselle knew since everything Orali was planning, the attack on the island, did nothing to prevent it. In fact, Iselle, being centuries of years old, is tired of attending hundreds of forging days and ceremonies just to draw blood. So when Diem asks how she changed her appearance when she came to Lumnos, Iselle changes to that old woman in tattered clothing and speaks into Diem's mind. Appearances can be deceiving. Diem yields to her godly demand to fight and shuts out Iselle, who finds it marvelous. You shut me out, marvelous. As a crown, Diem has the right to question a prisoner. These are things that Iselle is educating Diem on. Iselle has had centuries to perfect the act of politicking and court matters. So now she's teaching a young queen. She's taking Diem under her wing, so to say. So Iselle is teaching her, you should remember, a crown holds no authority over the other crowns. So don't let anybody boss you around because they're a crown. It used to be that all 9 crowns voted, before they make any decision that has to do with crowns. But usually it's very hard for all 9 people to agree on something. So after the blood war, they changed the rules that if 6 crowns, if we get a majority vote, we can go ahead and do whatever. Iselle did not agree to this. It's not what the kindred would have wanted. Iselle reveals Blessed Father Umbros speaks to her too. Not just Luther. You get that. Lumnos speaks to. If you're a devoted person to your own kindred person, they talk to you. Now, before Diem can question further, Iselle invites her out on a very flimsy balcony where it's just ribbons that is serving the thing between you and falling to your deaths. Do you understand? And when Diem looks out over that balcony, there are really white bones underneath. Oh my God, people have been thrown off a lot from here. So when Diem wonders if she can throw off Iselle before Iselle does it to her, Iselle's Griven growls, sensing Diem's intention. Because Diem is just trying to be careful. She doesn't know what this woman is capable of. You get. The Griven growls at Diem. So Iselle now tells Diem, careful dear, Grivens can sense intentions. And unlike that miserable Ignios beast, mine actually likes me. Remember that the Ignios beast, Tybalt, that's Ignios Griven, helped Diem a lot. Do you understand? But Iselle's Griven likes Iselle. So it won't be as eager to help Diem. You get. What Iselle wants to find out while they're standing here is, how much are you willing to sacrifice for your end goal, Diem? Diem is like, I'll die for them. Iselle dismisses it. Anybody can die for their goals. But can you kill? Can you keep going when everyone you care for is lying in a grave? Can you be the one who puts them there? How far will you go? This world of peace and unity you think you can build, how much are you willing to give to see it come to life? Diem replies, everything. So Iselle snaps at her, are you sure? Be certain, child, everything has a price. And the more precious the item, the more devastating the cost. How much of your soul are you willing to set ablaze? All of it. Diem answers, and that answer satisfies Iselle, who brings Diem to a stained glass door. depicting what looks to be a history of a Marion. On one panel, there are bloodied bodies that are scattered over a red-drenched battlefield. On another panel, 9 crown-wearing figures stand on a circular black platform. But what renders Diem speechless is a panel on top. A tree, its branches engulfed in flames, a red-haired man leaning against its base, the Everflame. So this is the library, and that's where we're going to enter into the next episode. Please, the library holds many secrets. So many things are coming. So please come prepared in the next episode for the library. So I'm going to pause here today. Don't forget to join our Telegram channel, our Telegram community. The link is in the show notes. And please review, tell one person about this podcast. And I'll see you in the next episode. I love you, neighbor, more than you know. I pray for you. I honestly do. God bless you. See you. Bye.